Hey Algebra students, welcome to our unit on exponents. This is in your textbook. It's chapter 16, so you can follow along or see extra examples on those pages if you want. Make sure you've got your notebook out for notes. Okay, so you've seen exponents before. The whole expression is called a power. The whole thing is a power. And the base is 3, the exponent's 5. So one more example of this is if we've got 1/2 to the power of 5, 1/2 is the base, the whole expression is the power, and the 5 is the exponent. Right, so that's why we've got 5 1/2s here. All right, so we're just going to practice writing with exponents. Here I've got a base of 3. It's being multiplied by itself 4 times, so I can write that as 3 to the power of 4. Here, the 8 is not the base. It's not being multiplied by itself more than 1 time, so we've just got 1 8. But I do have 3 1/2, so I'm going to write 1/2 to the power of 3. Here I've got 2 -4s, so that's going to be -4 squared. Notice that the -4 is multiplied twice, so that is the base. Here, number 4, this is different. The negative is outside. It's not part of the base. So this is -4 squared like this, which is the same thing if you write it this way, -4 squared. So that's really important, and I want to highlight that 4 is the base. Okay, so just seeing this difference here, -4 is the base in number 3, and 4 is the base in number 4. In number 5, we've got 5 raised to a power, as well as x raised to a power. There are 3 5s, so that's 5 cubed. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's, so that's x to the 6th. We're going to write each of these as repeated multiplication, so going backwards from what we did before. Notice that the 2 is not raised to the 3rd power, only the 4 is. So this is going to be 2 times 4 times 4 times 4. For now, we're just going to leave it like that, and we'll evaluate in a later slide. The 1/2 is squared, and it's actually, the -1/3 is squared, so the -1/3 is in parentheses, so I know that I have 2 -1/3 and then 3 x's multiplied together. Notice here the negative is outside, so I only have the 1 negative sign floating outside. It's not being raised to the 4th power, just the 6 is. That's different than number 4. So you might say, why did I use parentheses in number 4 and not in number 3? You totally could have written this as, that would be absolutely fine. Now we're going to actually practice evaluating, and we're going to remember our order of operations. So first parentheses and other grouping symbols, then exponents, multiplication, division left to right, addition and subtraction left to right. Okay, what do I see here? Well, I've got that 3 in parentheses. There's nothing to evaluate in the parentheses, so I'm just going to do 3 to the power of 4. So that means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, that's 81. Now I'm going to do this multiplication. Okay, this next one I've got 2 exponents. I want to be sure I do both exponents first. 3 to the 3rd, 27. 8 squared, 64. Now I'm going to make sure I do this division next, because that's next on my list. And finally, I'll subtract those 2. Be careful with your signs. Okay, this one, it's what we've been practicing with the negative outside not being part of the base. So I've got negative, and then 5 multiplied by itself 4 times. 5 times 5 is 25, so this is essentially 25 times 25. That's -625. Now this one, the -5 is the base. Since I've got a negative times a negative makes a positive, then times another negative makes it negative again, then another negative makes it positive again. So here my answer is positive 625. Great. Your practice for today is in the textbook, so you can do it straight out of the textbook. I put the problems here on the slides for you. 20 and 28 are bonus ones, challenge if you like. Remember that these signs in number 25 here, those are absolute value. So evaluate the inside part first, and then take the absolute value of that number. Remember to check your answers for all your problems, and then you've got 2 little checkup problems on Schoology.